Hey guys, I just want to make a quick video to address what I already see emerging on the forum for this week. Several people indicating problems with introduction paragraphs, and that is totally understandable. We sometimes get in our own heads, get in our own ways when we are wanting to convey a particular message, present a particular idea, and then you're like, but how do I start? That's the case with anything, right? Like even if your house was really dirty and you needed to clean up your children's toy room, for example, you might even walk into that room and go, where do I begin? Like there's so much to do. Same thing with writing. We go into it and we think, where do I begin? I have so much I want to say, or I know exactly what the end goal is, but I don't know where to begin. So what I want to encourage you to do is to consider it this way. What is it that you think that you can say starting out that's going to make people want to know more, right? What is it that you can say from the very beginning that is going to make people intrigued and interested? Keep in mind this is a narrative. Keep in mind this is you telling a story about a memory in your life, right? Think about when you watch a movie. Sometimes we watch movies that first 10-15 minutes and it's already a dud. You have already started scrolling your phone, switch the channel, just decided that it's okay if you doze off, take a little nap, because that movie hasn't captured your attention. On the other hand, there are some movies we start out that first 15 minutes we are hooked. We really have got to stay tuned in and locked into whatever is being discussed and presented or in the movie. So think about it that way. Now I know that that might feel like an overwhelming task, but you can do it. You can do it through a variety of ways. Start with a question. And that question should not be like, do you have a memory? I think I used that example in the PowerPoint last week or so. Not that, but let me see. A question like, if I'm thinking about writing about getting a bicycle when I was 5 years old, I probably did, but that's not a true memory in my head right now. But maybe if I asked a question like, has there ever been something in your life that you hoped for with everything that you had? You went to bed every night praying that this wish would come true. That's a question, right? And so if I'm reading that, I'm intrigued because one, yeah, most people have had that experience, but two, I want to know what it is that you went to bed praying for every night, right? If you prayed or whatever you did, So I want to know what it is that you hoped for and longed for. And I want to see if it's something that I too would have hoped and longed for, right? You can also start with jumping right into not the meat of the story, but a subset of the story. If we think about the Post-it student example, she jumps right into describing a scenario where she felt very uncomfortable in her body. And by describing that scenario, she was able to engage us because one, first of all, if you read that simple essay, you probably, after the first couple of sentences, wanted to know what was going on. Like, what is going on with this writer and her 10 drunk uncles, okay? And if you didn't read it, you should. But she jumped right into a scenario that then served as a bridge to the main meat of the story. So maybe I don't want to jump right into getting this bicycle, but maybe I want to jump right in and say something like, all throughout my childhood, I spent days gazing out the window, watching the neighborhood children ride their bikes up and down the street. Although I was able to go outside, I never wanted to because, unlike them, I was not fortunate enough to have a bicycle. Because of that, I went to bed every night praying and hoping that at some point I would have enough money to buy myself a bright red shiny 10-speed bicycle so that I could blaze up and down the street and feel like I was just as important as all the other children. Okay? So that's jumping into the scenario. And then I can go on to write a story about how, I got a bike. You could also start with a quote, but I do want to caution you about that. So I feel like sometimes I hope this is helpful to you. I feel like sometimes we overthink it when it comes to how to start because we're trying to think of that perfect thing to say. But just write something, right? This week up until next Wednesday, I'm asking you to submit a draft. So in that draft, just write something. And I'll tell you whether or not I think it's intriguing and engaging, and if it's captivating, and if it entices readers to want to keep going. Further along with your introduction, the other part of it that you want to make sure you have is a thesis statement. For this, it's probably going to be one of those umbrella thesis statements that I referenced in a lesson a couple of weeks back. One that's not specifically laying out these are the reasons why this is an important memory, but one that says, because I finally got this bike when I was 10 years old, I believe that dreams really do come true. All right. So now I have a thesis statement that's broad, but it's still specific. And I'm going to write this entire narrative about getting a bicycle. But in my conclusion, I'm going to bring this home and make it valuable to you, the reader, because I'm going to show you how just that one little memory from when I was 10 years old has helped me to cultivate a personal perspective of optimism that dreams really do come true, and if you want something bad enough, you really will be able to get it at some point in your life. So I know that this was quick, but I just wanted to make a little video to hopefully help you. Let me know if you have any other questions. Keep posting on the forum for the week. I really do appreciate when you guys correspond with each other and give each other feedback. So keep that going. That's really good. It makes the forum really beneficial for everybody. If you notice, I tend to do most of my responding to forum posts on Monday through Friday. So then if you post on the weekend, I might not respond before that Sunday night deadline, but it's not something that requires an answer before Sunday night most of the time. If you guys do tend to have those, you usually email me or message me directly. But and sometimes if there's someone who's posted on the forum at 11:55 on Sunday night, it is not because you have a genuine comment. It is not because you have a genuine question. It's because you genuinely want to just complete the task, and that's not the goal. The goal is to really engage in the communication that takes place in a classroom, but in an online format. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that and hopefully give you some help with your papers, and let me know if you have any other questions.